So I got this book here, Ninja Skills, by Antony. Um, Basically, this book is if you don't really want to buy the other books, like the Bansen Shukai, the Shoninki, all that kind of stuff, and you want just basically the Cliff Notes version of everything. If you have the other books, you're really not going to learn anything too different in here. The only real difference is that this has a lot of this kind of stuff, the illustrations and pictures and all that. Goes over things, the Shinobi Shizoku. It's basically all the same stuff. The stuff that's in the Bansen Shukai, stuff that's in the Shoninki, stuff that's in the Nimpiden. The infiltration types. It's a lot of English words as opposed to Japanese words, so that's another thing. Basic stuff. You know, illustrated guides to how to do the things like when you're breaking into a house, how you have the rope behind you so you can easily find your way out, or using a kunai, or using, you know, your zori with the cotton or whatever on the bottom so that people don't hear you. Lots of stuff like that. Stuff that you really, Bujinkan, stuff that people in the Bujinkan know. Stuff that people outside the Bujinkan maybe don't know, but it's pretty basic stuff. Using a Kaginawa to climb over a wall. It doesn't really explain how specifically to do that, what you want to grab onto, stuff like that. It just says you can use one to climb over a wall. It's like, yeah, we know. The only thing people might not know is how to use these ladders like that. I talked about it a while ago, but different things. Because some of these are like using two ladders to climb a wall, you know, by sticking them into the slots between the bricks. Same with the ladder with the spikes on it. Like I said, they don't use Japanese words a lot in here, which is very strange. Quail hiding, the kind of stuff that is in the other book, the kids book that Chris stole from. And then this thing again, the Tanuki Noki, which I described and everyone else got wrong. But yeah, it's all stuff that you should know, basically. Some of the pictures are just silly though. What is this? I'm just going through trying to find stuff to actually show anything that's really different. Stuff about taking hostages, that's always interesting. Yeah, they got weird stuff. If you can see what that says, Shinobi proof underwear. Yeah. Basically what that is everyone, you get your whole group to wear the same underwear so that the person who's sneaking in has different underwear, and then you get everyone naked, so or half naked, whatever. So that's funny stuff. That's kind of stuff that you won't see really that often. Now, since I might have talked about it, like now since I talked about how to take a crap with your sword and all that stuff, you know, the pitfalls, all these booby traps, all that kind of stuff. You know, so some interesting stuff. This thing, ciphers, cutting notes, all that kind of stuff. Hori, the conch shell, such a hard word over there. Yabumi, fire signals. You know, it talks about how to make a torch. Well, it doesn't tell you how to make a torch. That's what I was actually going to say. It talks about using torches in the rain, but it doesn't tell you how to make them. Aquatic Skills. This is wrong, by the way. You have this drawing here that's like, it says a spring high tide, a neap tide, a neap high tide, neap low tide, spring low tide. There, and then it says the neap is these two in the middle, and the spring is the two on the end. That's completely wrong because they're all the exact same level. The neap tide is when there's the lowest amount of difference between the high tide and the low tide, which is when the basically there's a right angle between the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon on the water. So when you have a spring tide, which isn't in spring, it's actually from the idea that the tide is springing forth and getting bigger. That's following a new moon or a full moon. But then, conversely, you get your other 2 times a month where you have the neap tide, where the difference is lower. But these are all the exact same, so that's I don't even know why this is in here, because it really doesn't actually talk about using tides like that. Crossing a river, crossing a marsh, use those shoes. Crossing water without making ripples. All this kind of stuff. Mizugumo, cattail raft, Shinobi Bune. Yeah, this weird thing. I was talking about that on Facebook, when you cut someone open to see what they were eating in the castle. But you can always just check the castle out yourself, but if you want to kill someone, whatever. Hayanawa. Lots of stuff. And, some basic, once again, really basic fire stuff. It's really not, I think this book is for people who don't have the other books, really. And it's just all that kind of Taoist stuff, the Gogyo, all that. Sun Tzu stuff, yeah. So basically, if you have the Banzen Shukai, if you have the Ninpiden, if you have the Shoninki, then this really doesn't do much for you. I guess the book is technically aimed towards people who don't have that, because it's a lower price than those ones. But, if you like seeing this kind of stuff, if you want to get everything that there is, I get everything that there is, obviously, so it's in here. But definitely go with the Banzen Shukai too, go with the Shoninki, go with the Ninpiden. Go to Don, get whatever else Don did. And for a lot of the basic stuff, it's not really a ninja. Oh, it's a ninjutsu, obviously, but I mean, you could go into your real survival stuff. This is kind of for people who want to play ninja and don't want to go too deep into it, because there's stuff in here. There's basic stuff in here, and then there's stuff that goes much deeper. Like, there's Bujinkan stuff that I know that's way beyond this. And when you're working with the Banzen Shukai, when you're working with the Shoninki, when you're working with the Ninpiden, there's only so much you can do, because everything is the same in there. But, you could be sitting in a class in the Bujinkan, and someone will say something that you've never even thought of, and you just learn these little bits. So, as always, get a real teacher. Read books, learn Japanese, read Japanese books, and learn as much as you can.